I'd like to thank all of you for coming. I'd like to thank Amit, Shai, Lee, and the wonderful production team who are so into details that they even got the weather right. We're like full Europe today. So thank you for them. And I'd like to thank 38 speakers who are with us today, either in person or online, all giving us from their valuable time and sharing with us their knowledge and hopefully a little bit of their funds that they have at their disposal for all of us startups and the audience. But I'd like to really thank in a big, big way, and I need your help here, for 8 speakers who flew in especially from Europe to be with us today. So let's give them a warm welcome. And last but not least, thank you to our wonderful sponsors, because without them, this would not have been possible. You can see their names on both sides. So thank you very much for helping us. Now, this year, we're at the 10th consecutive Europe Days. We didn't stop for COVID. Can I have a timer here, Shai? We didn't stop for COVID. We simply adapted, changed online to an online format, and continued the show. But this year, I must admit, I had my doubts. And in around November, I was contemplating on whether yes or no, yes or no, this. Can we stop the mic I talked about? Whether or not this event should happen. And 2 things that made me make the decision in favor of the conference. One was, I was at the conference in Vienna, and the speaker before me was talking about the economic situation, and the speaker in front of me was talking about the economic situation in Europe, and as entrepreneurs, everything will be okay. Let's wait a few months. And I told myself, this is totally wrong. We as entrepreneurs do not stop. We move forwards. And if there's a crisis, we seize it and make an opportunity out of it. And we know, all of us know, that the only fixed thing is change. So, and this is something you have all demonstrated in an amazing way over the past month, showing amazing resilience, always delivering, and not stopping. As a friend of mine, a German investor, framed it, he just said, you guys, the Israeli entrepreneurs, you simply took the war as a handicap and moved on. And this is exactly the mindset that this conference is also about. So, not stopping, we're continuing and moving forward. Now, let's look at these crises that were mentioned about Europe, that for us, let's face it, are amazing opportunities. It's like a Luna Park of opportunities. Starting with the war in the Ukraine, which is still going on, released huge defense budgets in Europe. So if you're in the defense business or the cybersecurity business, wow, the money is there. Adding to the cybersecurity sector, we have the NIS2 directive, which is taking force this year, which forces many European companies to beef up their cyber resilience. Again, result, a lot of money available for cybersecurity startups. Now let's look at the energy. What's going on there? Energy prices in Germany increased by 50% last year, and electricity increased by 30% last year for the home. So if you're in the climate tech business, if you're in the renewable energy business, this is your golden opportunity. And adding the post-COVID, coming out of COVID now, the healthcare systems across Europe are in huge pressure to become digital, to use data, to start to be able, A, handle the next pandemic that might or might not come, and B, to be more effective and efficient in treating people. So again, if you're in the health tech, e-health business, again, opportunities all over. And we combine the global downturn, there's a lot of inflationary pressure across Europe, which in turn makes all businesses puts pressure on the businesses to become way more efficient because they need either to fire people or cut costs and become more efficient. So digitization is key. So Industry 4.0, ELs, which we mentioned before, digitization of services, and we didn't even mention AI yet, which we'll talk a lot about later, so I'm skipping this now. So it's out there everywhere. There's a huge pressure on mid-sized to large European corporations to digitize. And this is, again, your way in across the sectors you're focusing on. And if we take it a notch up, the domain of innovation, China, US are basically, and now starting with India, are eating Europe up steadily. And Europe understands it needs to beef up its economy, beef up its innovation in order to stay a player and take again a leading position over the next 5 to 10 and plus years. So the EU is aware of this, cities are aware of that, regions are aware of that, and they're welcoming really open-handedly any startup that has innovative technology that can contribute to the economy. And it's not about only new innovative technologies, it's also about people who can help the economies with the leap ahead. And these are you, the Israeli entrepreneurs and startups, because you offer the innovative technologies and you offer the right mindset to help your European partners. So essentially the equation we introduced last year of 1 + 1 = 3 is even more valid this year. We have on one side established European companies and mid-sized companies, which are called Mittelstand. That is one side of the equation. On the other side of the equations, we have you with innovative technologies and the right mindset. And if we put them together, we get a huge 3. And this is why we're here today at the conference, to bring all the parties together and hopefully make a great win-win for all of us, both in Israel and across Europe. So much success today. And I'd like to call my panelists, please. Thomas, Omer, and Sharon, please join me on stage. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, short rounds of introductions.
So, I'm Thomas. I'm from Zurich, Switzerland, and my focus is on bringing you guys to Switzerland and not to Silicon Valley. Because Switzerland, A, is a beautiful place, B, is in the center of Europe, and C, I believe you can scale beautifully from Zurich. And we also have colleagues here from Greater Zurich area. Rolf, you will meet later. And about myself, I've been in the startup and startup support business for the last 20 years approximately.
So Thomas didn't say it, but he represents the entrepreneur / corporate Swiss person, and we'll get back to that. Omer.
Okay, hi, I'm Omer Kelaf. I'm the CEO and founder of Innoviz Technologies. We are developing technologies for self-driving cars. Our customers today are BMW and Volkswagen. So we spend a lot of time in Germany. I just spent a week now there. And I'm happy to be here.
And Omer obviously represents the entrepreneur, the Israeli entrepreneur that is doing business with Europe. And sure.
Hi, dear Gili, thank you for doing this today. It's brave, and I think it's a great decision. And first of all, my name is Charm, German Chamber of Commerce. And of course, if you want to scale into cows and mountains, go to Switzerland. If you want to scale into business and industry, you should maybe talk to me or to my colleagues, such as Mara and others who will be here, but also maybe to Achim, who's here from GTAI. And our chamber represents the German economy. And of course, we are very good friends and fans, and it's only my jealousy talking to the Swiss #1 in innovation.
It's good that I'm sitting in between.
No, we've known each other now for about 7 years, so it's all good.
Okay.
So come to Switzerland if you want infrastructure that works.
So wait.
Okay, I think we have positions cleared here, and I'm glad that Omer has understood where to be, because you might sit in the middle, but you opened your office in Germany, right?
Correct. That's correct.
So before we start the competition, which we won't have today, to keep you in suspense, Sham didn't mention it, but she represents the German who moved to Israel. So taking these point of views, let's go a little into culture. Sham, you land in Israel 5 years ago, I think you arrived in Israel or so. And what's like the first shock you get? You meet Israelis, like what's like your first shocking impression?
Last year I told you about a taxi driver who tried to set me up, and I really wanted to be a happy single. But so this year I will tell you, the first shock was somebody stepping on my foot and not apologizing, which I later found out is okay, because the same person afterwards offered me to carry my luggage. So it's this flip side experience I had, which continues, and it's actually not 5 years, I'm here for 19 years. Time flies when you're having fun. And yes, but this is only one example of the great things I experienced here.
And Thomas, what's like your first shock? You're from Switzerland and everything has a place, and you meet an Israeli.
Actually, my first shock is a positive one, because everybody is like, okay, why don't you speak Hebrew and you belong and stay? So, which is something very contrary to Switzerland, where people are rather reserved and it takes you time to make friends. The other thing, a little bit of shock here is the contrast about, okay, high tech, extremely international, a lot of people speak a lot of languages, and then a lot of times there is infrastructure that doesn't work. Like getting a SIM card is quite an adventure with your phone companies and so on. And this contrast for me sometimes is a shock, because as you said, Gilly, in Switzerland there's a process for everything, and more or less all the time it works. But the downside is, if you're outside of the process, you have an issue. And here, outside of the process, I think is how stuff works.
Omer, you land in Germany, or where did you meet your first German, in Israel or in Germany?
Where
The first Germans on the business side, I mean.
who are the first Germans?
Where
Sorry.
was your first meeting with Germany? In Israel or in Germany?
No, it was, I think we met with BMW somewhere in October 2016. I remember the guys were looking at us, hoping that we will go away, because it was for them seeing a very young startup trying to offer them something very innovative, super risky. The guys were terrified that they will have to bury it. But actually, I think that eventually, you know where we are today. So of course, we have a BMW vehicle on the ground now with our technology. So it was a very interesting first meeting, but it led to a very strong friendship.
Can I add something to what Omer just said?
Have you been to the meeting?
No, but I would have if you invite. I have a German client, and they produce sensors, and I've brought them to Omer's office right when he had to deal with BMW. He was not that kind of a rock star, but on his way up. And then he told them, and he gave a very impressive presentation on the technology and everything, and they loved it. And right away, they wanted to continue doing business with him. And then he said, but it's not ready yet. I'm still working on it. And they were so shocked, because they say, but you already have the deal, and you're presenting it. And so this was also funny. And I think fast forward, you made it quite work. You're always a little bit behind. That's why your eyes are always a little bit tired. But you manage and you deliver, and that's how it works. We do and run.
But okay, so anyone from BMW here? This is a hint for someone to raise his hand. Yeah, exactly. The gentleman. Lots welcome. What's your take? You see a lot of startups coming to you, and what's your advice to an Israeli startup coming to pitch BMW?
My name is Stefan. I'm from BMW, representing the technology office here, situated in Tel Aviv. And I think the thing is, what is very easy to make contact here, just come to us. And that's something which I learned is very easy for people from Israel, from startups here. I lived 5 years and worked 5 years before in Japan, Tokyo, and it's the complete opposite, right? Yeah, you need to get to them, right? Yeah, they don't come to you. That's really different. So it's very easy, just take the contact and we see what happens. It worked with Innovis, it worked with every site from Haifa, it worked with Upstream, Autobrains, so quite some success stories we have here already.
So I'm just, thank you. So I'm just recapping shortly. We have from Thomas that in Europe, Switzerland especially, things are in process. So if you reach out to Switzerland, you need, or Germany, or Austria for that sake, you need to understand the process and you need to be ready for it. Have your materials ready, have anything ready. It's just that, hi, I'm Omer, I came. But really, we need to prepare in advance a little more. We understand from Stefan that it's probably good either if you know the person here in Israel, you don't have to know him, just reach out. But if you reach out to someone in Germany, you probably need an introduction. Is this what you tried to tell us, right? And from Omer we have a little expectation management, like really what's the status of the product and the service, and A, and B, that relationships are long-lasting, right? It's not like in the US, hi, bye, let's do lunch. But
I think that we've managed to build a very strong friendship between the teams, and it's important for such a program where you need to have good trust and confidence in your ability to solve very difficult problems. And I would say we are very fortunate to work with BMW for many years. We've really learned a lot, and they were very helpful in many ways. I was actually very surprised on how I would say R&D strong BMW is, and we've met very strong individuals that were helping us along the way. I think Innovis today is very much due to our ability to work with such a strong partner for many years.
And Sharm, like, what's the one thing an Israeli startup should absolutely not do when meeting?
Be late.
Really, only one?
One. They're like, Omer gave us don't be late.
Don't.
But I think we're a little flexible here in Germany, no?
Not to call them more than 5 times per day, asking why there wasn't a reply on the last email at 2 o'clock at night after you just sent the email at 8 in the evening, and expecting them to be online for you, maybe?
Okay, so let's discuss this. The European no, okay? I call it this way, like you send something and there's no reply, and it's a week and a second week and 3 and 4 months later. When should we follow up, and when should we understand that it's a no?
The guideline is easy. First of all, send, then breathe, and then breathe again, and then wait a few days. And when it's out of office, it means out of office. And I know Israelis we don't do out of office in Israel, but people do go on vacation and they don't want to talk to you then. But I think the normal time frame should be even 2 weeks. I know that sounds like a lot, but I also want to say that the Germans have changed dramatically since Corona. So there was a shift, and it's also become a 24/7 sometimes. So it depends whom you meet. But in general, I think that trust is, of course, the major key here. And the second probably is also to just understand what's their business culture, to get to know the person and the way the corporate or the company works. And this is something I lack a lot of times.
Omer, when do we get to know? When do we understand it's game over?
Game over? I don't know. I hope we would never get there. But No, I actually learned to enjoy working with the teams in Germany. I think that we have very similar work ethics, and we're working with companies that are very early adopters, kind of companies. And actually, to your comment earlier, BMW would choose a technology that eventually they want to be innovative when they launch. Okay, so if they will take a product that is already available, they are running into a risk that maybe 2 years before they will bring the car to the market, it will already be around with other car companies, and that's a disaster because they want to be early adopters, they want to be in the edge. So they will look for the most innovative technology and will work with the teams to make it available on time. And that's, I think, very key, because when I present my products to German OEMs or other OEMs, I know they will have a different appetite for different products at different levels. And I know that companies like BMW would want me to show them products that will be available after the products I'm offering others. They want to be leaders.
Thomas, when do we have a Swiss no? What's a Swiss no? So far we did German no. No. Again, it's yes, everyone speaks German, 3 countries, but the cultures between each country are different, and you should keep this in mind, please, when talking to any of these 3 cultures. So, Thomas, what's a Swiss no?
So there are different versions. I mean, one version is getting no reply, and following up what Charm said, yeah, don't do the send every hour an email, because Swiss people don't appreciate being under pressure, because we're not a very... Our culture doesn't appreciate conflict. And telling somebody no is a conflict. So the thing is, also, if you don't get a reply, or if somebody replies to you and tells you, oh, it's very interesting, I will discuss it with the other staff members, you know that you're in trouble. And a hack around it is telling people, hey, give me an honest feedback, because I'm here to learn, and if you found something negative, please tell me about it, because you're taking away a growth opportunity from me. And a lot of time that works. And the other thing, it's relationship building. So Swiss are a bit reluctant, but once they open up their hearts and you're in their hearts, they're your friends for life. I can tell you. So really working on the relationship building will help you also to reduce the no's, but which means you have to invest time, both in getting to know people and to build the relationship.
Thank you. We've been talking all the time. Anyone has questions? No questions? Okay, if you have one, raise your hand. We'll be happy to take questions, and we're continuing.
I'll bridge the time, if you allow, with another don't.
No, let's go positive. No, enough with the negative.
Okay, then with the do.
A do, yeah. Okay, let's go. We're moving to the positive side.
It's a do.
Do.
It's a do. Do behave in a very modest way. That was a good one. The lecturing is always, I experience a lot of times that Israelis lecture the corporate, and I mean, okay, you might have a good idea here and even something that lifts it up, but you are very new in the business, so we don't tell them how to do it. We do tell them how we could maybe improve it. And on the other hand, I want to add, and this is maybe also to Stefan, not to you and BMW, but to our industry we represent, that the German side, the yes but culture must change, because you cannot do innovation if everything is a yes but, and then you start with the data protection and the regulation and the why not, versus...
But you're doing the don't now to Stefan, which is not nice. So, Omer, you wanted to say something.
Maybe a do. So what I learned is that our customers really like org charts. They want to understand the company structure. They want to understand... The startup company, yeah. I mean, it's very important for them to learn who are the people in the different roles and who reports to who. It really helps them to understand how to communicate with the company and who to connect with who within their organization. So it is important to reflect that in those meetings.
we discussed punctuality before. So in Germany, it's like really being on time, but in Switzerland,
Yeah, it's being 5 minutes early.
okay. So nobody says it. The clock says 00, but everyone's already in the room for at least 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so keep this one in mind.
Yeah, maybe you saw my face when I came in at 8:57 because the bus broke down and that's already outside of my comfort zone.
Okay. Now, Omer, like, what is the one thing you wish someone have told you? You know, when you started the journey again with connection to doing business with Europe.
No automotive. I'm kidding. No, I think what I hope that someone would tell me. I think that focus on Germany was really a key element. There's a lot of noise in many, in our industry, but really the only early adopters are the German. I mean, also Switzerland probably, if there were, but but really, really pay attention to the early adopter market, and that's Germany, and don't waste your time on anything else.
So no China, no Korea, no US, Europe. I'm taking this at a macro level. And Charm, what is the absolute, one thing, your advice on the positive side to startups going to Europe?
First of all, the one thing in Europe is Germany. And the second thing I can advise, do it through the chamber. Or through Geli, of course. And that do it. Just do it. Nike.
Is Rolf here? Rolf Bühler? Great Zurich here? No. Okay, so Thomas, you'll do the Swiss side. So one thing, really a positive, that every entrepreneur should know when going to Switzerland.
Yes, no, stuff really, it works, and if people tell you that they're gonna work with you and they like you, they really gonna follow through. And the other thing is also, Swiss people are quite enthusiastic, and you all have a lot of energy and a lot of ideas and a lot of innovation, and if you talk to people, they will get it and they will work with you.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. And we'll continue to the next talk. And dear panelists, thank you very much. And till later.